Anthony Hartwig here with a Heartland Christian Volleyball Coaches Corner with Maggie Martin, brought to you by our friends over at Baird Brothers. You can see them in the top right corner of the screen. Maggie, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
No problem. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate you guys
We said it
considering.
before. We said it before we went live that we are so excited for volleyball to come back around, and it really starts to hit on August 1st. Before we ask you about this season, the players you're going to have under your belt, I want to kind of reflect on last year. We don't get to have the postseason, wrap up with these coaches like we'd like to. So reflect a little bit on last year, what you learned from it, and what you think your returning players are going to be taking from last year's season and how it went.
Yeah, last year we didn't end as successfully as I had originally hoped we were going to. We had a very young team. So it was just that kind of reflected in a lot of our games. We were so close in many games, but then we would just lose by whether it was a few points or whatever. So it was definitely still kind of a growing year for us. But this next year, definitely I have a lot more seniors, so I have a lot more experience that coming up. So this year, there's definitely going to be a lot more experience and for this next season.
That's the catch 22 to having a really young team. You're going through it last year, but you kind of in the back of your mind know that in the next couple of years it's going to pay off. What do you think are the biggest lessons learned that these players are going to bring into this year as their experience from last year?
I think it's being able to set realistic expectations for the teams that we have. And the athletes that we have. We're a school that doesn't often have tryouts. So it's being able to understand, we have talent and then just kind of realizing where everybody fits into that and then how that's going to work for this season. So yeah, it's definitely kind of that. I think the experience, just getting that, 1 year of varsity under your belt makes a difference. So that's going to help a lot.
Let's go over your roster and go through some of the big names that Heartland Christian fans should be expecting this year and some of the girls that you think are really going to be leaned on for success.
Yeah, I have a core group of seniors that I'm really expecting to take a lot of the responsibility. My returners are Bella Droken, Riley Grimm, Zoe Matthews, Julia Denny, and Elise Wintersteller. Those are all 5 seniors. So they each have a good, most of them have 2 solid years of varsity under their belt, and a couple of them have 1 solid year now. So I'm definitely expecting them to really step up in their leadership roles and just really kind of put together everything they've been learning for the past, 3 years. And then I have a few sophomores and freshmen that I'm definitely expecting some. I'm expecting them to step into some big roles and to kind of fill in some big shoes. And I'm going to be asking for that a lot from them on varsity. So I definitely believe they can do it. So yeah, that's kind of what the season's going to look like.
What's it like to have a core group of seniors, like you said, that you can rely on, but also on the flip side, have a couple of underclassmen that are going to step up and do big things for the program?
It's definitely this year. It's good to have that strong leadership and that strong backing. And for our seniors, and especially for our captains, we do put like a lot of responsibility on being a leader and exactly kind of what that looks like in our program. So I definitely expect them to step into those roles, but we also have, because our program's growing, we have a freshman team for the first time we've ever had this year at Heartland. So those younger ones stepping up and coming up, we have a lot of talent coming up. So it also just kind of helps that healthy competition in a way. My seniors still have to work hard for their positions. It's not just handed. And so it's definitely good to have that young talent coming up because it just helps the girls to push each other and to work harder in the long run.
Let's talk about the schedule you've put together this year. Obviously, with the independence that Heartland Christian has, you have the freedom to go out and schedule whoever you want to kind of boast yourself for a tournament and get yourselves in the right spot for tournament time. Who are some teams that pop up on your schedule that you're really excited to go up against?
Yeah, we have another pretty tough schedule this year. I know McDonald has been added to our schedule. Last year we played them, and after the game, the coaches came up to me and they're like, "We really want to play you guys again." So we added McDonald. We usually always play Ursuline, and last year I believe it was like we took them to 5 both games, so it was a really good competition. So they definitely wanted to keep playing us. And we also are going to be adding a freshman team to that, the Ursuline game as well. And Brookfield was another one that we kind of picked up last year. And we haven't really played them before, but after playing us, they were like, "We really want to play you guys again." So yeah, it's fun to kind of get in there and play some of these teams. And then it's nice that, we give that good competition, that they want to keep us on their schedules. Because sometimes, being that independent school, it's kind of a blessing, but then sometimes, schools oftentimes don't want to play us at the same time. So it's nice to kind of have that reputation, and it's good to have that camaraderie with the other coaches as well to just build both of the programs.
A lot of the schools we talk to have conferences that they can work towards winning, and that's one goal that they can have their players focused on before tournament time. Without that, what are some of the things that you guys do to make sure you're staying one game at a time and keeping some, smaller goals leading up to the tournament? That way there's no looking ahead and stressing out about where you sit in the tournament here in August when it's really just the first couple weeks of the season.
Yeah, we focus just a lot. We really talk a lot about kind of our team culture, honestly. We have some like goals and some values that we really work on. And, we really talk a lot about like integrity and discipline and just building our team together, even though we have JV, varsity, freshmen, kind of building that team culture. And the girls really they love playing and they care about each other so much that I think that kind of just helps keep that competition continued throughout that, when we are working hard every day and when we are like putting in our effort 100%, then it really just keeps them motivated and keeps them pushing towards that end goal.
We know in a sport like volleyball, especially team chemistry and communication is so important. What kind of things do you guys do in the summer and now in the first couple of weeks of practice to build team chemistry, build the bond, and make sure you're a tight knit group out there on the court?
We talk about team culture and team bonding a lot. We usually do a team bonding with the girls in the summer, or at least before school starts. They kind of get a big team bonding, kind of just party type thing that just everybody can get together and have a good time. We kind of do a buddy system in our program. We'll pair freshmen with seniors to just kind of help that kind of leadership, that mentoring, and to just help build those relationships. Definitely that team chemistry is something we talk about it pretty regularly because, you can have all the talent in the world, but if you have girls bickering or girls not getting along, that can crush a team faster than just them having girls that can't play.
Every year we ask you about the energy that you bring to the bench because you're one of the funnest coaches to watch do your job. Should Heartland fans still expect you to bring that same energy on the floor on the bench?
Oh, yes, probably. That's what the girls usually always tease me because usually when they say I'm starting to get quiet is when they have to start getting a little more worried. So usually, yep, I'm pretty much always going to be that active coach. I'm a very in the moment coach. I say I coach like I played. So it's kind of funny. During the game, I'm in the moment, but then as soon as the game's over, honestly, my brain kind of blanks from the game. It's hard for me to remember what happened. So I'm definitely got to kind of stay in that moment.
Obviously, this is not your first year, and you've been coming back consistently to Heartland Christian to coach. What is it for you that keeps you, coming back to this job and coming back to this program and wanting to keep building with these student athletes?
Well, it's honestly, the school has this crazy family atmosphere. This is going to be, my 10th season total at Heartland. I started with junior high. So this will be my 7th season with varsity. And it's like, especially now, I've seen a lot of the girls literally grow up. My JV coach right now, Lydia Wilson, was one of the big dogs of the Valley, and I coached her since 7th grade. And so it's very much that family atmosphere. And I've formed such a relationship with these families and these girls now at this point that I hope I don't go anywhere anytime soon. I very much enjoy coaching, and I'm very happy coaching at Heartland.
We hope so too. We're in that room fighting for your contract all the time at YSA. Trust me, trust me. One of the things that's cool about Heartland Christian, for you guys, the volleyball program, is that during the fall you're not the only show in town, but you're the biggest show in town. There's no football program at Heartland Christian, so you kind of get the limelight, you get the bright lights. What's that like for your volleyball team to maybe get a little bit more fan support than maybe other volleyball programs would, and you don't have to contend with the football program?
Yeah, it's great. Our parents and the support we do get is just huge. I know we oftentimes like to do a volley for the Cure game, and for like our senior nights, and just the support is so great. And that's what's so awesome about that family atmosphere too, is it's just such a big, open, welcoming place. And yeah, it is kind of nice. Usually it's us and basketball are kind of the biggest sports that are generally talked about. So, that's just a little pat on the back.
Yeah, you got a big program, and I know it's been a successful program in its past, and the tradition of Heartland is strong. What kind of things do you try to do to keep that tradition alive and let these girls know kind of some things about the past and know that they're holding up tradition of Heartland Christian volleyball?
Yeah, we do one thing we do like very kind of just differently with our program that we've always done is we do kind of a Bible study devotional before our practices. And oftentimes the girls lead them. And it's just a great time to really like bond together. And the support from the parents. And also for this year, we're going to be having our first alumni game at Heartland, which is going to be a really good time. We're hoping to get some of those big names back. So we're getting just a lot of support from also our alumni and girls. I coached previously, and even the high school coach before me had coached previously. So it's just that support is huge from just all of Heartland.
Let's talk about your coaching staff this year and all the people that are behind the scenes helping you make this program what it is. We know that you don't do it by yourself. Who are some people that really deserve a shout out into making this volleyball program what it is right now?
Yeah, well, Lydia Wilson is my JV coach. I've coached her since 7th grade, and she is the order to a little bit of my chaos. So she has been a huge help. This is her 2nd year coaching, and she's loving it. We have a freshman coach now. Her name is Jessica Kovacs. Yeah, I'm just really excited to get started with a freshman team. We've never had one before, so that's just going to be a whole new experience coming together. So she's jumping on board with that. And for our junior high program, we have Shannon Leposki, who is actually an assistant coach also at Westminster College in our program. And then Bobby Antiste, who was in our junior high program last year. As coaches. So we have a really strong coaching staff that I'm very excited about our coaching staff. So we have really strong coaches coming in. A lot of them have college experience or even a college coach. So we're getting some really quality coaching for our girls and just for our program.
I don't think too many teams can say that they have a current college coach also coaching their junior high team. How'd you pull that off?
Well, it does also help that, she has kids coming to Heartland. So that kind of helped out a little bit too. Yeah, it's, she was a coach for Infinity Volleyball Club, which I was involved in. So I'm still close with a lot of the coaches there. And we were looking for a junior high coach. So I was like, do you guys know of anybody willing? And I got her number and she said yes. So
it definitely pays to know people, Coach, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
All right, Coach, before we let you go, I want to give you the chance to give the Heartland faithful a little bit of a preview of when the season starts and when they can get out to see Heartland Christian for the first time this year.
Yeah, our first game, I believe it is on the 19th. It is a Try It United. I believe that's what it is. Sorry, I'm trying to remember that off the top of my head. Yeah, we start August 19th and we get going. I'm really excited to once we get into the first game, that's when you can finally focus on volleyball, and kind of all the preseason stuff is finally to the side. So I'm excited to get started and to get going.
Heartland Critchlin wasting no time, starting on day one of the volleyball season. The first day you can't play a game, they're out there in the gym, they're playing. Coach,
Yep.
thank you so much for taking the time to join us today and previewing this season. We can't wait to cover you all year, and we also can't wait to talk to you again real soon.
All right. Thank you. And again, thank you for covering us, and thank you for everything that you guys do.